I wanted to talk about this tremendous press conference with Patrick Beverley that went down on Tuesday. The Lakers are truly going to be performance art this year. Russell Westbrook and Beverley, who we know don't like each other.
What do you mean? They were smiling, Russ threw him the towel. Come on, baby.
Look, Beverley last year ended up in Minnesota, made the best of it and got a contract extension out of it. He's going to do the exact same thing with the Lakers. He's going to get there and try to make the best of it, be the best soldier he can, be a pest to the opposition, have the fans fall in love with him, and try to get another contract. That's his goal. Russell Westbrook does not want to get traded, because if he gets traded, he's going to probably get cut, and it's going to be difficult. He wants to be in LA, so they're on their best behavior. But I just do not believe. Darvin Ham sat there with a straight face and talked about how they can work together. And I respect what he's doing. He's doing exactly what he should do as a coach. Bontemps, I just do not believe that the Lakers honestly, with a straight face, can believe that Patrick Beverley and Russell Westbrook playing together, which is what Darvin Ham said that they would do, is going to work. I just don't believe it. When you have LeBron, first off, in 2022, you have to have shooting. Beverley just has worst 3-point shooting year of his career. Okay, maybe he may get a little bit better, but he was just at the worst year of his career shooting the three. Westbrook is one of the worst long-range shooters the league has seen in recent times. You need you need shooting to space the floor for LeBron and Davis. This is a tenet of what won them the title. I just don't believe that they honestly think that that's going to work, Bontemps.
If they do, it's going to end very badly. So hopefully they don't, for their sake, because it will not work for all the reasons you just said. And look, I think, to me, it seems very likely that Russell Westbrook will get traded at some point. I would assume before the start of the season. In exchange,
I don't know about that. Well, I don't know about that. I think based on the executives I'm talking to, they believe that the Lakers have come to the conclusion that they are not going to trade Westbrook now because they don't like any of their offers, and they're going to try to make the best of it and see what happens. That's what the executives think.
Well, and listen, again, I was going to say, I think if they make a trade between now and the start of the season, it's because they think that will give them a chance to be, in theory at least, a chance to be a legitimately competitive team in the West in terms of winning the West and having a chance to win a title. If they can't make a trade that can do that for them, and it requires them giving up these future picks, I think you're hard pressed to do it. And I can understand why they would do that, because even though you got an old LeBron James, even though he just signed this extension, we've talked about it a lot. The Lakers have very few good players. They only have their two stars and not much else around them. And again, in the same exercise we've been doing a lot in the East, because we're doing what in the world's with a lot of these East teams: Phoenix, Memphis, Golden State, Dallas, Denver, Minnesota, New Orleans, the Clippers. Like, there's a ton of really good teams in the West, and the Lakers are going to have to take a significant jump forward with talent in order to keep up with those teams.
We have talked about potential Westbrook trades. We talked about a trade that they could make with the Jazz, for example. And by the way, from what I am told, while it would make sense for the Knicks to have done a 3-way deal with the Jazz and Lakers, I am told that never was part of the talks. That there were 3-team constructions between the Jazz and Knicks for Donovan Mitchell, where players would go to a third team. But I mean, obviously they didn't do a deal, but that the Lakers were never directly involved with that. McMahon, I just don't think the Lakers, the Jazz, a potential Jazz trade, I don't think the Lakers believe right now there's a Westbrook trade that they have, even with their picks, that elevates them. So I think they're going to try. The feel within the league is right now, and it could change in a week, but the feel within the league from the executives I talk to right now is they're going to try to make the best of what they have and hope for situations to change in their favor.
I was talking to some scouts out here, and one of them strongly said they need to bring Russ off the bench. I think that's great if you're playing NBA 2K, and just not a realistic option.
Yeah, I mean, that's the same thing as somebody
dealing
last year. Yeah, that's the whole thing. Is last year somebody when I had right after the trade, I was talking to an executive, and they were like, "Well, this could work out if the Lakers are willing to bench Russell Westbrook late in games." And I said, "Well, that's not. You're not gonna. That's not a feasible thing to do.
If you're doing that, you might as well send him home.
Right?
It's-
Frankly,
Okay.
they're probably better off if they do send him home at this point.
Again, the Westbrook who finished last season and said what he said at media day, I thought was untenable returning to the team. Now we've got Westbrook showing up with a smiling face, celebrating with Patrick Beverley. Is that Russell Westbrook who, is willing to drop a decade-old rivalry, however old it is? If it's not a decade, it's close.
No, I think, it's right up there.
Is he willing to also say, okay, I'll come off the bench or I'll sit at the end of games? Because last year they benched him down the stretch of a game and he took the next game off because he said his back hurt from sitting on the bench.
Right.
The guy who was an Iron Man for them last year.
Listen, I
All-time
remember
passive-aggressive.
at this time last year, everybody was saying things are going to be so great, and Russ was going to change, and this was going to happen, and that was going to happen. We are in the annual rite of passage where in September, everybody except for Lonzo Ball is healthy. Everybody's feeling good. Everybody's ready to go. It's all going to be awesome. It's all kumbaya. And then you get to mid-October and the season starts, and then you really find out what's going on. And I'm going to make a very large wager on Russell Westbrook not changing his stripes at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's made his entire ethos off never changing his stripes. And I don't see that happening now.
This is like the 10 pounds of muscle for Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is one of the most conditioned athletes I've ever seen in my life. So Russell Westbrook never has to come into camp and say, oh, I gained 10 pounds of muscle or I lost 15 pounds, because Russell Westbrook has been cut since the moment he walked into the league and hasn't had more than 3 or 4% body fat. So Russell Westbrook can't come into camp with I gained 10 pounds of muscle. Russell Westbrook needs to come into the camp with, I gained an understanding of where I am in the league.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.